Hey guys, this is RK Coding, and despite me not being motivated to make tutorials because I find it quite time consuming and it takes a lot of time, I decided, since a lot of people are asking, that I was going to make a final part to the RK Coding music series. So I'm going to be making it on two really requested features, which were volume and autoplay. Now, another requested feature is hosting, but I'm not going to get into that because just by doing a simple search, you can find a million tutorials on how to host a Discord pod. And obviously, you can fine tune this by saying with Python, because that's what we're going to be using. A lot of these are covering JavaScript. But, yeah, there's plenty of tutorials online. Before we get into this, I want to thank this dude, X3BLA, for coming up with the autoplay system for this. And you should really thank him because I modified this code slightly to work with loop, but this code is basically the autoplay system we're using. So I just want to give credit to where credit is due. And if you need help, this is a great time to join my Discord server because I'll help you, and there's a lot of members that also might help you. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to download the code from the GitHub, and I actually did make an error where I forgot this line in the pause and resume commands. So you can just change that, or you can get the updated code for GitHub, which is what we're going to do. So we're going to save this to our desktop, or wherever you want to save it. And here we go. There, it popped up. I'm going to name it final.py. And we're going to open up with our preferred editor of choice. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. It's a great free option. And this is really an intermediate tutorial, so I presume you know how to set up a code editor and run Python. In Visual Studio Code, you just use Control F5. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, in the new version of Python, it requires this dependency called asyncio. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import asyncio. And yeah, basically that's it. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the volume command. So to make the volume command, we should find a good place to put it, which I'm gonna do it directly after the play command. So here, and then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna paste the basic stuff, which is the @client.command, and then we're gonna do an async def volume, and the parameter we want to take in is an integer, and its name is gonna be volume. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check if we're connected to a voice channel, because otherwise, we shouldn't be changing the volume. So we're going to use if ctx.voiceClient is none. And then if that is true, then we're going to return, bro, you're not connected to a voice channel. We're going to return not connected to a voice channel, which you should probably do if you want to change the volume. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to divide the volume by 100, because basically the percentage Discord takes is anywhere from 0 to 200. 200 is the max and 100 is the default. But the sentence ctx.voiceclient.source.volume, which is how we set the volume, is a value between, I believe, 0 and 2. So what we can do is we can just divide it by 100, and we can make it easy for the user to type a value in between 0 and 200, and we can still have it work internally within our code. Okay, and then finally we're going to send, ctx.send volume change to, and then volume percent. So if the user types 100, it's going to be 100. If the user types 200, it's going to be 200, etc. Okay, and another thing we're going to do is we're going to add search. So search is something. There's already search in, but the search only accepts one word, right? So what we can do to change that is we can literally just add like a star in our Q command, but star between CTX and URL, and that will add multi-line search. That's all we have to do. It's pretty great, right? Okay, finally, we're gonna make our play command, autoplay. So one of the first things we want to do is add an else if statement, which is elif in Python. Else if there's nothing in the queue, so length of queue is equal to 0, we want to return the message we were returning here. So await nothing in your queue. And that gets around us having to use a try except loop, which is something we really don't want to do because it's bad practice. Well, it's not necessarily bad practice, but our thing has multiple potential errors when we add autoplay because there's all kinds of weird things the user might do, like while it's autoplaying, they use the leave command, which would throw an error. So we don't necessarily know anymore if that's an error related to the queue. So that's why we're adding an else if statement here. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is add this variable definition into this try statement because, you know, why would you set a variable if you're not going to use it? So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, guys. So that's good. We've got that worked out. Now what we want to do is we want to add autoplay. And we can simply add autoplay with basically while we have something in our queue, we can basically check if it's playing. So while something is playing, we will do an asyncio.sleep too. So wait 2 seconds between checking, and that gets like a 2-second delay instead of checking every frame. So while it's playing, we don't do anything, right? Okay, so basically it's gonna run this while loop indefinitely while we still have things in our queue. And sometimes the user may do something dumb like making the bot leave in the middle of this while loop, so we're going to add an except to basically throw out those exceptions. Now, it's going to get caught in this while loop if the channel is still playing, like if the bot is still playing, but if it's not playing, then we can just do our default thing, which is to play something from the queue. And we're going to wrap that in a try except loop in case something breaks. We want to, like the user does something dumb. So we're going to throw out that error too. And with that, we have a volume command. I'll also delete any extra lines. With that, we have a volume command, we have multi-line search, and we have a play command. So now let's get into testing. Okay, so I plugged in my token. I'm going to hit Control F5 to run. And I'm going to wait for the fabulous bot is online message. Bot is online. Great. Okay. So now the bot is online. What we're going to do first is test volume. So I'm going to go get something great from non-copyright sounds because I'm not trying to get sued or copyright strike, more accurately. Okay, great. So I joined a voice channel. So now I'm gonna hit play. Now I'm just gonna pause that and resume to test those commands still work. So let's say I want to make this louder. Volume 2. Oh, now it's 2%. Okay, volume 200.
Summer comes, I'll fall into a trap that I made by myself.
Now it's quieter. It's changing the volume. So yeah, the command works fabulously, actually. And this is a good song. Anyway,
I feel unable and so
and we're gonna view the queue, and it's gonna be empty because we stopped the song. Because, you know, I don't know, we just stopped it. So now if we were to do play, it would give us this error. Nothing in your queue, use queue to add a song. Now, next thing we're gonna test is the autoplay functionality. So I'm gonna queue this "I just wasted 10 seconds of your life" twice. And what it's gonna do is, if we view the queue, it's gonna have to play these two songs. You see the comma here? So it has this song queued twice, right? So if we hit play,
I just wasted 10 seconds of your life.
and the reason I chose that song is because it's short. So now it finished that, right? And then it plays the next song in the
Just
queue, which is the same
wasted
thing.
10 seconds of your life.
And now it's done. So it played the song twice because I queued it twice. To better illustrate that concept, I'm gonna queue that song, and then I'm gonna queue another song, non-copyright thing song. So it's gonna play the other song, it's gonna play that song and the other song, like just like I explained. I queued the same thing twice, sorry.
I just wasted 10 seconds of your life.
Okay, now it's gonna autoplay this song. Autoplayed. I didn't use the play command again.
I know the air I'm breathing.
Now we're gonna demonstrate searching and the loop functionality, right? So first thing I want to do is generate the search functionality. So I'm going to say I just wasted 10 seconds of your life. So it's in the queue, and it's basically going to find the URL for us when I play the song, right? And before that, I want to turn loop mode to true. So it's going to loop the queue over and over, kind of like a playlist. It's going to loop the first song and the second song. And since there's only one song, it's just going to loop this song over and over, right? So if I hit play, it not only is it going to find the video, because I enabled search, I just searched it up. So
10 seconds of your life.
Now, this is the only song in the queue, but since loop mode is enabled, it's going to autoplay a loop.
Just wasted 10 seconds
That
of
is a demonstration of all the functionality.
just wasted.
Okay, well, since it's looping, stopping isn't going to do
Just
anything.
wasted.
So I'm just going to get it to leave. Or I could turn loop mode to false, but yeah. So basically that's proof that everything works. And basically like this video, shout out to X3BLA for his help, and Happy New Year! I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm probably not going to make any more tutorials, but you can like this video so it reaches more people, and subscribe and share and do all that, and I wouldn't mind it. Anyway, bye. Happy New Year.